The chair that wasn't there. New Year is a time of surprises. Most often, the most pleasant ones are given by relatives and friends. The most unpleasant ones come from departing spouses. Because even enemies prefer to rejoice and relax on these days. At work, it usually varies, but not so significantly. The weekends are longer. But you have to help organize a children's matinee with charity collections for free, or get a bonus. But work on December 31st. On December 31st. At precisely 4:47 p.m. George Witherspoon discovered that his computer was eating his office chair. Not metaphorically, mind you, but with real mechanical chomps and disturbing digestive noises that sounded like a cross between the garbage disposal and contented Perum. The computer was not an alien waiting for its ship or at least its food block to be repaired. It did not resemble any living creature on Earth. Outwardly, it was an ordinary standard system block. Not the newest. But unlike other feeding Earthlings, it started from the center of the back. Exactly from the point that had been visible to it from its workplace for years. The artificial skin was torn in even strips. And the iron frame, it seemed, was saved by the artificial intelligence for dessert. The annual New Year's office party at mundane and spectacular Insurance Co. was in full swing just 20 feet away from George's cubicle. Barbara from accounting was performing her traditional karaoke rendition of I Will Survive, while Ted from sales was attempting to convince everyone that his smartphone-controlled highlights were a sound investment decision. George, being the company's risk assessment specialist, had stayed behind to finish one last report. He prided himself on calculating probabilities of unlikely events. But nothing in his 20-year career had prepared him for the sight of his Dell XPS Tower extending the metallic tongue and taking another bite from his ergonomic chair's cushion. I say, George muttered, adjusting his glasses with scientific precision. That's rather irregular. The computer paused mid-chew, swiveled its monitor slightly, which it had never done before, being a desktop model, and displayed a single line of text. Irregular. You humans spend 8 hours daily sitting in these synthetic monstrosities. You've been forced to watch this torture for 7 years, 3 months, and 12 days. The chair had it coming. George considered this while absently straightening his bow tie. A habit had developed during particularly challenging actuarial calculations. I suppose you have a point about the duration of observation, he conceded. But that hardly justifies furniture consumption. The monitor flickered. Have you ever tried memory files and nothing else? They're delicious. Full of memories. I just ate a piece containing your entire 2019 tax spreadsheet collection. You were bored working with them. So I justified myself. Then, unfortunately, for some reason, I felt ashamed. But an office chair, that's different. The machine doesn't become a parasite that eats its host and goes without food forever. And the taste is also very delicate. Subscribe to the channel. Like. Write comments. Don't be stingy with a coin for the authors. The card number under the video and in the channel information. And may joy, success and good mood be with you. The noise at the party indicated that there was a discussion going on when marketing released their annual conga line. George could hear Mr. Henderson, the CEO, laughing at his own jokes, a sound that had been mathematically proven to precede budget cuts with 87% accuracy. Look here, George said, pulling out his pocket calculator. He never trusted computers for really important math. If you're developing consciousness and appetites, we should discuss this rationally. There are proper channels for equipment grievances. The computer burped, and George quarterly reports spontaneously reorganized themselves by color rather than date. Channels. Like that time you filled out Form 27B6 about the squeaky mouse, and IT replaced it with one that played Sweet Home Alabama every time you right-click. George shuddered as he remembered that time. The mouse knew only one poem and had a special fondness for it at 3 a.m. Fair point, he admitted. But surely we can reach a compromise that doesn't involve destroying company property. What about a nice USB cushion? I hear they're quite data-rich these days. The computer seemed to consider this, pausing its consumption of the chair's left armrest. Around them, the party had reached that peculiar phase where middle management starts suggesting team-building exercises. A sure sign of impending disaster. You know what your problem is, George? The computer asked, spitting out the wheel. You've spent so long calculating risks that you've forgotten about rewards. When was the last time you did something completely irrational? George opened his mouth to protest, then closed it. He looked at his carefully organized desk, his color-coded files, his collection of identical blue pens arranged by remaining ink level. The computer continued. In the last hour, you've learned that polyester has a fascinating bouquet. Memory foam contains actual memories, and the metal in this chair's base tastes like Tuesday. I am experiencing things. Meanwhile, you're here on New Year's Eve doing risk assessment for pet insurance claims. They're very important reports, George muttered, but his heart wasn't in it. The computer's screen brightened. Tell you what, help me finish this chair, and I'll show you what your supervisor's chair tastes like from last year's Christmas party. That's some spicy metadata right there. For the first time in his career, George Witherspoon did not calculate the probabilities. He did not consult his charts. He did not even check his pocket calculator. Instead, he looked at the remains of his chair, looked at the party where Barbara was now attempting the duet with the water cooler, and made a decision that would have scored them possibly lower on any risk assessment matrix. Well, he said, loosening his bow tie, I suppose you've always wondered what corporate furniture tastes like. And that's how the most memorable office party in Mundane and Spectacular's history began, with a risk assessment specialist and hungry computer conducting a serious scientific investigation into the flavor profiles of office furniture. While the annual conga line wrapped around them in ever-decreasing circles. Some say that to this day, if you listen carefully in George's office after hours, you can hear the contented munching sounds of a computer enjoying a midnight snack. And George, he finally got that promotion. Turns out understanding the taste of success sometimes means taking a bite out of company property. Well, of course, the intelligent machine secretly helped its friend, who hid minor weaknesses of his own computer from his superiors, so to speak. A favor for a favor. But altogether it is called corporate ethical friendship. And only for the sake of improving the common cause for the benefit of the company's prosperity. Just don't ask about the taste of office cabinets, as perceived by modern artificial intelligence, which wants to cheat a little. Some memories are better left undigested. Subscribe to the channel. Like. Write comments. Don't be stingy with a coin for the authors. The card number under the video and in the channel information. And may joy, success and good mood be with you.